Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you. It's one of those secret handshakes. Start the 503 horsepower twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8. Turn off all the driver aids such as blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist, etc. Flick the driving mode selector past Sport and Sport Plus to engage race mode. Hold down the traction control button until ESP Off displays in the instrument cluster. Highs. Porsche 911 quick, great handling, strong brakes, V8 rumble. Loss. Stiff ride, noisy tires, feels big and heavy from behind the wheel. This is how we completely shut off the stability control system in the 2018 Mercedes-AMG GLC63 S coupe to access what Mercedes calls the race start launch control function. On the street, out in the real world, this is unnecessary. Even on your favorite back road, the vehicle's sport mode, which is engaged with the simple flick of a single button, rarely interferes with your fun and allows for some serious pace. But at the test track, while seeking the car's extreme limits, we disabled the system. The 4,517-pound Mercedes-AMG responded by torturing its massive Michelins and laying down some serious numbers, and not just in a straight line. In our slalom, the GLC63 S coupe managed 45.3 miles per hour. Although comparing slalom times from one day to another isn't the soundest of scientific practices, it is worth mentioning that the GLC63 S's slalom speed is right in the ballpark of what the new BMW M5 laid down a few months back and actually is faster than the E63 S from the same comparo. The SUV also generated a stout 0.94 grams of grip around our skid pad. A crossover with sports sedan moves. Maybe we shouldn't have been surprised. The two Mercedes products have a similar weight balance with about 55% of their mass up front, and AMG fits the GLC63 S with the same sticky Pilot Sport 4S high-performance summer tires it uses on the E63 S with the similarly extreme stagger. Standard rubber on the GLC63 S is size 265/45 R20 front and 295/40 R20 rear, but ours wore an optional set of 21-inch wheels shod with 265/40 ZR21 tires in front and 295/35 ZR21s in back, nicely cranking up the SUV's muscular stance. Sharing its basic platform with the C-Class sedan, the GLC Coupe is the fastback version of the GLC SUV, the one for folks who want exaggerated style without all that annoying cargo volume. And it's either a looker or it resembles a bloated 1979 AMC Spirit, depending on your taste. Step up to the AMG variant and it does turn heads, even in and around Los Angeles where AMGs are as common as Toyota Camrys. Our GLC63 S was particularly striking in its Designo Cardinal Red metallic paint, $1,080, and riding on the optional cross-spoke matte black wheels, $2,750. And the model's Pan-Americana grille, like that on the AMG GT sports car, is an artistic triumph. Benz-branded GLC coupe prices start around $47,500, and the AMG GLC 43 version with the twin-turbo V6 is just over $61,000. Add about $20,000 and you get to this range-topping GLC 63 S. The GLC63 in both standard and coupe body styles packs AMG's twin-turbo V8 that produces a stout 469 horsepower routed to all four wheels through a 9-speed automatic that employs a clutch pack where you'd normally find a torque converter. The S designation on our test car denotes a higher state of tune available only in the coupe, delivering 503 horsepower and 516 pounds-to-foot of torque. The regular GLC63 coupe is $7,600 less than the GLC63 S, and the squareback GLC63 is $3,250 cheaper still. Options on our test vehicle were many, including carbon ceramic brake rotors, $5,450, heated and ventilated front seats, $450, and a driver assistance package, $3,150, which adds aids such as adaptive cruise control with steering assist and active, that means it'll steer you out of trouble, blind spot assist. The carbon fiber exterior package, $1,750, seemed especially gratuitous, adding carbon mirror covers and a sizable rear spoiler. All in, options drove the bottom line to $104,910, roughly the base price of a 603 horsepower AMG GLC63 S sedan. Muscular manners. AMG doesn't do dainty. From behind the wheel, the GLC63 S feels hairy-chested and sleeve-tattooed, as if it were tuned by George the Animal Steele, John Rambo, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, with some input from Tom Lee and The Rock. The SUV feels large and heavy and tall, and its thick A-pillars can make sighting through fast corners difficult. Its speed-sensitive steering, which adjusts the power assist as well as the ratio, requires notable effort and responds a bit abruptly just off-center. There's sports sedan grip, good balance, and plenty of steering feel near the limit of adhesion, but the GLC63 S doesn't carve up a twisty mountain road so much as it beats it into submission. The speed and response are there, but it's more Aaron Judge than Baryshnikov, and when you're pushing too hard, AMG has dialed in some understeer to tell you to back off. Even around town in its comfort driving mode, the GLC63 S rarely allows you to forget you bought a hot rod. The suspension tuning is firm, and, on most surfaces, the big tires fill its interior with road roar. For all the communication here, there's a disappointing lack of information about the surface coming up through the steering column and pedals. The V8 sounds great, but it'll wake your neighborhood when you fire it up on a still, dark morning, and the adjustable AMG performance exhaust system, $1,250, sounds rather throaty even in its most subdued setting. Like the GLC43, the GLC63 S uses air springs, but its rates are cranked up and its anti-roll bars are larger. In Sport, Sport Plus, and race modes, those spring rates get stiffer still thanks to the new 3-chamber air springs, and ride height hunkers down at speed. Rebound and compression are adjusted independently, and in comfort mode the system automatically stiffens the spring rate if the SUV suddenly changes direction or accelerates or brakes hard. Changing driving modes also adjusts the throttle response, the shift programming, the exhaust noise levels, and the stability control settings, but Mercedes allows you to adjust everything independently so you can truly customize the SUV to your liking with an individual mode. We ended up driving around town mostly in Sport or Sport Plus mode with the suspension dialed back to comfort and the exhaust flaps closed. Inside, the GLC63 mimics the interior design of the C-Class, with analog gauges, round vents, and a 7.0-inch screen sitting a bit awkwardly atop the center stack. There's also enough carbon fiber to build a sprinty car, the world's most ornate speaker covers, a girthy flat-bottom steering wheel with large well-placed paddle shifters, and the same column stock shifter you'll find in nearly every Mercedes, love it or loathe it. There's room for 5, but rear seat headroom is tight for the tall. And then there's the power. Pop the hood and behold the dog V8 squeezed between the shock towers, its pair of turbochargers sitting proudly right on top, exposed for all the world and your car buddies to see. AMG mounts a secondary engine radiator parallel to the ground just behind the front air dam, and an oil cooler mounted upright in the SUV's right front corner is fed cool air by the massive opening in the bumper beneath the headlight. Power to terrify civilians. This is the same engine you get in an AMG GLC63 S sedan, and it makes its peak torque just off idle at 1,750 revolutions per minute. There's thrust everywhere on the tachometer, and the 9-speed automatic is always ready with a rev-matched downshift, especially in Sport and Sport Plus modes. It clicks off firm, full-throttle gear changes just before the 7,000 revolution per minute red line. Activate the race mode's launch control system, floor the throttle while standing on the brake pedal, and the V8 revs to 3,500 revolutions per minute. Left foot off the brake and you're compressed hard into the firm leather and micro-suede sports seat as the 4 large Michelin's Kung Fu grip the earth, creating immediate and prodigious forward motion. By the time your brain catches up, just over 1 second later, second gear hits and the GLC63 continues to build speed like it's been dropped from a B-52. Then the transmission grabs third and you're at 60 miles per hour in just 3.3 seconds. Keep your foot down and the quarter mile is covered in 11.7 seconds at 119 miles per hour, making this AMG the quickest SUV we've ever tested. That's even quicker than the last Porsche 911 Carrera 4 GTS manual we tested and will scare the bejeebers out of any family sedan driving neighbor brave enough to ask for a ride. Our neighbor Martha's legs were shaking after her first launch control experience. "Wow," she said while climbing gingerly out of the Mercedes. "I've never gone that fast, I'm not sure I can walk after that." Poor woman will never see her Altima the same way again. Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.